Everyone. Hello. Thanks for joining me today for this very special event. Because if you were ever going to learn about a spider that you weren't going to fear, it would be jumping spiders. So, hi, as you know, I'm Christine Elder. I'm a naturalist, environmental educator, and visual artist here in Southern Oregon, where it's a partly cloudy day, but the garden is blooming. And next week, I've got a really interesting, very strange and unique and cool plant that we will be drawing and dissecting a plant. But this week, it's spiders. And I just get inspired by what I see in my neighborhood and my local hikes and my garden. And so this week, I noticed all kinds of jumping spiders. They're both in my new studio here. This is my brand new studio and in the garden. And so I thought we would sketch those. So thanks so much for saying hi in the chat box, JR and Karen and Suzanne and you replay viewers. So let me share. Let's see. Today's a little bit complicated. I spent a lot of time learning about spiders, collecting them, creating some habitats for them, like the one I have behind me and the other one there next to the light. Hello, Roberta. And so it's been quite the journey this week. I went down the rabbit hole of learning about spiders. And if there's any cool kind of spider, it's the jumping spider. You may have seen them on YouTube or Instagram. They're interesting dances and colors and eyes, of course. So what we're going to do today, let me get my mouse in the right place. So we're just going to do a little bit of spider biology because I've only drawn and taught about one other spider, the orb weaver spider. And so this is fun for me too. I love teaching because it gives me a chance to learn about a new subject. And Anya says, please help me overcome my fear of spiders. Wonderful. And Deb's here too from Cape Cod. So we're going to see some images of spiders. They're really, really cute. And then we're going to watch some of my videos. And that might push you a little bit. Oh, we have some interesting behavior here. Cool. I can't wait to show you the spiders. So then I've got some videos that I filmed this week while I was watching the spiders in my garden, as well as the ones I captured. And then so that might be a little bit more challenging for you. And then we're going to observe a live spider, which might be the most challenging, but they are in these little containers. And I bought a special magnifying lens lamp that I hope is going to help with today's event and to help you see them better. Okay, so thanks so much. And Deb says your older sister has severe arachnophobia. Yeah. Okay, so just real quick, the biggest group that spiders are in are the arthropods. That means jointed foot. And there's a lot of species in there, including things like crabs. And arthropods also include things that they all have an exoskeleton that they shed. And then within that is the class arachnids. But that includes some other things that aren't your classic spiders. So the spiders that we're talking about today are in the order Araneae. And so there's lots and lots of different kinds of spiders. Here's just a quick little graphic. But I actually learned that the jumping spiders are the world's largest family of spiders. There's more species of jumping spiders than there are species of mammals, over 7,000 species. So it's really likely that you'll find one somewhere, if not in your house or your windowsill or your garden. So 1 out of every 8 spiders is a jumping spider. Isn't that amazing? And so I talk about drawing to learn while learning to draw. And so the more you understand some basic anatomy, the more you can draw something realistically. Now, this spider in my image here, it's not a very furry one, so it's easier to see the parts. But jumping spiders are quite furry. and especially their legs and their kind of mustache, and so it's a little bit harder to see the parts. And so they have two main body parts, unlike insects that have three. So they have a cephalothorax, which is their head and their thorax combined. And then they have this huge abdomen, especially when they've just had a nice spider. A nice housefly like my spider I'm going to show you, or if they're females. And so those are the two main body parts. And then they have 8 legs, and those are attached to the cephalothorax. And then they are very special because of their eyes. They have different numbers of eyes depending on the group. But most have 8 pairs of eyes. And jumping spiders are really unique in having the really big pair of eyes that's really cute. We love things with big eyes. That's one reason we love baby animals, is because they have a really big eyes compared to their face and their body, and that makes them look really cute. So jumping spiders, well, we'll go into those more. So anyway, the basic anatomy is we've got 8 pairs of legs. We've got those eyes, and we have these pedipalps. Pedi means foot, and palp means kind of like a finger. So I like to think of them as little hands in the front that help them manipulate their food. And also in the males, they're bigger and fuzzier and kind of look like boxing gloves. They're so fuzzy. And they use those also to inseminate the female instead of having a penis, actually. And then you can see, of course, underneath are the sexual parts. And in the female, she's got an epigynum. I don't know if you can see let's see. Can you see my mouse? I'm not sure if I've got my mouse on the right screen. So we have a female today and a male to look at. Wait, I think this is a male. No, this might be a young female. I had a male yesterday, and I have some videos of the male I had. So anyway, so I don't know if you can see, tell me. Yeah, Joey. Okay, great. I've got my pointer on the right monitor because I have 2 monitors. You would not believe how complex this setup is today to teach, because I've got 2 monitors, and then I've got my second camera that's looking at the spiders with a magnifying glass. Plus I have all these lights in the studio and the microphone and the containers with the spiders. It's a little crazy. So anyway, the female has this epigynum, and that's pretty obvious to see, and you'll see that in the videos. And then they have their spinnerets. Now, I think I have some better pictures. Oh, yeah. So this is another graphic I made. Tell me in the chat box if you did the orb weaver spider drawing with me. That was at least 3 or 4 years ago during the pandemic. But I created this graphic so that you could see color coded that there's all of these joints to their legs. Actually, the phylum name Arthropoda means jointed leg. So that's all these creatures that have jointed legs, from millipedes, which we saw some yesterday, and isopods to Dungeness crabs and spiders. And so, yeah, then you see those 4 pairs of legs. Yeah. Okay, where was I? And then, so spiders are super unique in having silk. And I could talk all day about silk. I learned there was a really interesting OPB, PBS, BBC, something presentation during Halloween about spiders and how cool their silk is. And it's a very unique protein. And their silk comes out of those spinnerets, and they use it for a ton of different things. So most people think that the silk is just used to make a web. And of course, there's many, many different shapes of webs. And you can You can sometimes identify the spider, oftentimes by the web, but they use them for a lot of other purposes too. So years ago, I actually had a pet black widow spider. I named her Charlotte, and she was in a little container like I have back here. This one, she was a container like that, but my office mates weren't so thrilled. But anyway, I got to see her catch prey and wrap the prey with the silk. And that's a different kind of silk than they make the web with. And of course, webs can have different sorts of silk. The silk can be sticky or it can be non-sticky. So they also use their silk to wrap their egg cases. And I actually watched Charlotte lay some eggs and wrap them in the egg case. Now, of course, I took those away from her so I wouldn't have thousands of baby black widows in my office, which my office mates were quite happy about. But anyway, really fascinating. Hi, Suzanne. Thanks for joining us from Portugal. So spiders make lots of different kinds of webs, and some of them are really beautiful, like orb weaver spider webs. Some are really messy, like black widow spiders, and brown recluses, which actually my dad got bitten by a brown recluse. And then jumping spiders don't make too much of a web. They don't use a web to capture their prey like a lot of different kinds of species. They use their web to kind of sleep in. They make a little hammock up towards the top of their habitat, but they just use it to sleep in. And they also use their silk as a sort of a safety line. So I've noticed with the captive spiders this week, that they will have that safety line wherever they go, it will trail after them, and then they'll jump on their prey, and that safety line will keep them connected to the branch or the wall of the enclosure. So so anyway, jumping spiders, let me make this bigger. You don't need to see me. There we go. So like we were saying, there are many kinds of spiders. Sorry, I'm dealing with more technology here. Hang on. And like we said, all spiders have jointed legs. They molt various different times during their life and to get bigger and bigger. They all have 8 legs. They all have various pairs of eyes that do various things, whether they're just light sensing eyes or motion sensing or actually image forming eyes. And then unlike insects, they don't have any antennae and they don't have wings. So they're not like flies. And I have this other thing today with me too we could look at. Okay, anyway. And then they have fangs and venom. Sorry, it seems really weird for me to not be on here. I have to be looking at you. Sorry. So all spiders have fangs and venom, although, of course, some are more apt to bite you than others, just like snakes. Like I love finding rubber boa snakes out in the field, and they never bite. But of course, other types of snakes are much more likely to bite you and are much more venomous. So spiders are the same way. Some are more friendly, and that's one reason people keep jumping spiders is they're very intelligent and they can learn to kind of recognize their keeper and crawl on your finger. And they're not prone to biting at all. Okay. And then, but spiders do have fangs. And then we talked about their spinnerets and their silk. They're covered with hairs like the ones here. This one's much hairier than the species I showed you earlier. So those hairs really help them to sense their environment. And then, let me see. Let me go on to another slide. Okay, here's another one. So the eyes are one of the most unique things about jumping spiders and what makes them look kind of cute. And again, I'm showing you these pictures first so you can get to understand spider anatomy and jumping spider anatomy before we look at the real ones. So you'll know what you're looking at. But jumping spiders are quote unquote cute because they have these really big eyes. So the first pair of eyes that you see in front, those are their primary eyes. And they're really visual hunters. Not all spiders are. Some spiders, just sit in their web and wait for something to hit their web, and they feel that vibration and they run after it. But jumping spiders are pretty unique and really using their visuals with those huge eyes. And those two eyes, they're not like round like ours. Like if you were going to dissect a human, an eyeball would be round, kind of like a golf ball. But spiders, the jumping spiders, their eyes are kind of like a tube, and they go back into their head, and they can turn each of them independently, and they can form images. But then they have two other pairs of eyes, or I mean three, because they have four altogether, and those go along the top of their head. Let me see if I have another picture. Here's another picture. So you can see the main eyes in front, and notice those interesting reflections that we'll draw. And then another pair that's a little smaller, and then two more pairs that are on the edges of the tops of their heads. And so those are more for motion. So those help them see motion. Okie dokie. And for all wide angle, all three-dimensional, they can see all around them. So behind them and on top and above, everything. And so then here in this image, you also see their little pedipalps. So these shorter things that look like a little mustache, those are like their little hands that they help to manipulate food and to put into their chelicerae or fangs. And also the male uses that to fertilize the female. So those are shorter and in front, and they're different shapes. So the males will be bigger, and the females will be smaller. They also have different coloration. Let me see. Let me get a next one. Oh, so here's one actually eating a prey. And it's very satisfying for me to be able to feed houseflies this week to the captive spiders, because I really hate houseflies. They are the bane of my existence, and they tend to like be attracted to my studio. The house too, and the buzzing sound just drives me nuts. So I just love to see the jumping spiders catch them. And a warning, I will be showing you a video later on in a few minutes of a spider eating a housefly. So just a warning. So anyway, they are capable of capturing things much larger than their body. So if you had a pet spider, you could buy it things like mealworms and crickets. But out in nature, they are catching huge houseflies that are much bigger than them, as well as a hoverfly. I saw them catching a hoverfly the other day. Now, here's a super cute one. And these guys are also unique in having a very interesting mating dance. And again, tell me in the chat box if you've ever seen videos of them. The males will do this little mating dance, and they'll raise their front legs, the front pair of the four legs up, and kind of go like this and dance around. And it's super cute. There's been lots of memes created of jumping flies. Now in this, I'm showing you this picture because you can see this male has some really bright teal and purplish blue in the front. Can you see that? Those are its fangs or chelicerae. And those are bright, and they're often brighter in the male. Now, males overall are much brighter, like a lot of species, like birds, for example. So the females are generally more of a camouflage color. But the females are much bigger, again, like some birds, like hawks, and lots of other animals in nature. The females need to keep those eggs in their bodies, so and feed them, so they often have bigger bodies, sometimes many times larger. Okay, and so yeah, the males do this mating dance kind of like in praying mantises. And here's another one. And there's another close up. And this is a similar species to the one I had the other day that I'm going to show you a video of, which is called the bold jumping spider, which is very widespread in the United States. And that's one of the species that's here in our gardens. But anyway, the males will be smaller, but very brightly colored. And often those fangs or chelicerae will be brightly colored. And we're not going to be able to see this too well in the live spiders and in the videos. So I just wanted to, go ahead and show you a few images. Yeah. And then, what did I do? Oh, okay. So here we go. So here's the first video. Again, I'm going to show you two videos, and then we're going to sketch from a photo, and then we're going to sketch, last but not least, we're going to sketch our real ones. And I have them both still here. One's quite small and one is ginormous. I can't wait to show you. Okay. So this is a video. It's a compilation of the first spider that I captured, which I have since released him because I don't want to keep them too long. Spiders, a lot of people keep jumping spiders, and you'll see all kinds of YouTube videos about how to keep a jumping spider. But most of those you buy from a pet store, and they're raised in captivity. They're not captured. And I think they're probably a little bit more used to humans and used to being in captivity. So I don't really recommend capturing and keeping wild ones. I'm just keeping these ones. Like the one I have, I've got one in there, and I've got one in this habitat. So I'm going to be letting these guys go. But I've caught the mania of jumping spiders, so I might buy one from the pet store. We'll see. But anyway, so let's look at this one again. Each of these that I've videoed, I've let go, and the ones that I'm showing you today, I'll probably let go later today. So anyway, this is a video, and let's see if I can start this. So you can see it's using its little pedipalp hands to kind of clean its fangs, and then it's doing something interesting with its legs. And this is a slow motion of the same thing. And I think you can see its really sharp pointed fangs that it was cleaning. And can see this movement. I'm not sure what it was doing, but I know when spiders are mating, they do a little dance, but they often use foot movements for communication. And then, yeah, you see very easily the cephalothorax and the abdomen and the 4 pairs of legs. And you see the little hand-like pedipalps. And again, this is slow motion. And you might see the web up top. It goes across. Can you guys see the web? So remember, these guys are always going to have a little safety line of web from their spinnerets. Okay, so this is another one. Note the different coloration. This is probably a female. She's not as brightly colored. This one's also, doing some grooming. They remind me of my pet rats, who have a very specific way they groom themselves, starting with their kind of mouth, and then their eyes, and then their forehead. And the cast shadow is pretty cool too. Notice that. I love to have people notice those cast shadows and include those in their drawings. So they really use vision. Again, that's something unique and very special about jumping spiders. You really visual and using visuals for hunting. So they're going to jump on their prey. That's one reason they call jumping spiders. So again, instead of using a web to capture their prey, they actually go after it like a cat stalking their prey with those excellent large eyes that form images, and the other three pairs of eyes on their forehead that sense movement. So yeah, you see this one's really busy cleaning its face. Isn't that cute? Now here's the one that one of them that I was observing out in the backyard. And I'm observing this on that really unique plant that we're going to sketch next week. And you see this one was probably a female or a young male because it has a different coloration. Oh, Suzanne, I'm so glad you said it's so cute. I'm so glad. And I was just filming this with my phone. Cell phones are so good nowadays. It was pretty windy, so I was having a little hard time, but they're amazingly bold. In fact, again, this species is called the bold jumping spider, and they're not very afraid of you, and it's pretty easy to quote unquote make friends with them. And again, I'm going to show you the live ones in a few minutes in the culmination. So yeah, as we're looking at them, just noticing their fuzzy appearance, those sensory hairs, the color patterns, which are different on males and females and adults versus juveniles, just like in birds. Birds are very much that way. And some mammals too have different color patterns when they're juveniles to be able to blend in more with their habitat. And so, yeah, next week we're going to draw this very interesting plant and the flower, which is one of the most unique flowers in the world. So, as many of you know, I recently relocated to a different part of my state from the high desert of Central Oregon down to the oak woodlands of Southern Oregon. So you guys are benefiting from having me discover new things that are more active and common in this part of the state. And again, I want to commend you guys, both live and replay viewers. You viewers are just 1% of my whole audience that is signed up to learn about spiders. So you're one of my you're my people. Just look how cute they are. I mean, and this isn't even a good camera, but you see how much activity this little guy is doing, or this little girl. Could be a girl. And again, actively look, an artist, just like a scientist, looks very actively and intentionally at what they're observing so that they can learn to identify it. Now see these patterns, the band, the white band, and then the white dots. And again, this is a very widespread species you may see where you live. Okay, so that's that video. One more video. Wait, one more. Okay. So this is the one. Okay, let's see. CW says, do they have any venom when they bite? I swell up with mosquitoes and swell up like with mosquitoes and with other shoppers. I'm not sure what you mean by that, but maybe it's a misspelling. Yeah, I mean, I've been bitten by spiders before. I've been bitten by spiders before, and again, they have different levels of venom, and but I understand that jumping spiders aren't that prone to biting, and if they do bite, it just hurts a little bit. But Everybody might be different, just like some people are allergic to bee stings. I don't know that much about it. I haven't tried handling these guys. And again, these guys are wild. They weren't raised for the pet trade. So they might be a little bit more aggressive, but they seem very mellow. As you saw, I was actually holding that leaf steady with my hand while I was filming with the other hand. And it was just very mellow. They're very intelligent, just like pet rats. That's why I love rats. They're a lot more intelligent than people give them credit for. And when you're intelligent, you don't necessarily just jump and bite, like some reptiles might. Okay, so anyway, this one is a female. It's a different one. It's actually, yeah, it's the one I'm going to show you in a little bit. And she has this female part. I don't know if you can see those kind of like 3 dots there. Tell me if you can see that, but that's her epigyne, I believe it's called. And that's the lady parts that the male puts his pedipalps in to give her the sperm. And that's the only other thing on the underside. The spinnerets are at the very end, looking like a little outgrowth or kind of little nipple thing, and that's where the web comes out. Joey, you said yes, you see 3 dots. Okay, so I'm going to show this one. So let me get my mouse. I can't get my mouse in the right place. There we go. Okay, let's. Okay. So I didn't get to see her catching this fly, but it was right after she caught it. I actually set up my vlogging ring light and attached my phone to it and just pressed the video button and then left and let her look at this. So there she moves. I sped this up because this video was like 10 minutes long. But what they do is they attack their prey, again, by jumping on them and using their excellent jumping spider vision. And then they inject the venom that kind of calms the animal down and kills it. And then they hold on to it for a really long time while they suck out the nutrition. Now, I bet you want to see the best. First, I have to show you. So it's important to give them a really good habitat with lots of interesting things, just like with my pet rats. You have to give them lots of things places to hide and make them feel safe. And so this is the habitat I got at the pet store, and I put this jumping cholla skeleton in it. And there was a plant in here too, but I took it out when I was capturing the female. Joey, yeah, the spider does not consume the whole fly, right? So they just liquefy the inside and slurp it up like a milkshake. Okay, so I was very lucky to be able to get this spider in this container. And I spent all day yesterday finding the perfect kind of container that I could use. So I hope you appreciate it. But anyway, it's hard to get the right kind of container. And of course, now she's on the side of the wall. But who wants me to put a fly in there with her? So I don't know if you can see now my pencil. Well, my pencil is about 4 inches above her. She's a lot bigger. She's about, I'd say, at least 5 times bigger than that immature. And she's not going to cooperate because she's on the side here. But let's see, who wants me to put the fly in there? So hopefully she doesn't get out or the fly doesn't get out. Let me see if I can do this. Suzanne says, go for it. Okay, let's see. I was gonna put the fly in the refrigerator. Oh, he's in, he's in, he's in. I did it. Okay, so now we have the spider on the left side. No, we have the fly on the gravel and the spider is on the wall. Oh, watch, watch, watch. Watch. I'm sorry, this is the closest I can get. So she's turning to look at him. Well, I don't know if the fly is a boy or a girl. JR says, go for it. We want it all. And the fly is very smart. Oh, the fly. Oh, dang. You guys are going to have to. I don't know if this light is too much. She's looking, she's tracking him. She's tracking it. Sorry, I'm not an official cinematographer. It's amazing how unaware these flies are that they could be eaten by the spider. I think sometimes they get this false sense of security when a spider is smaller than them, thinking that they couldn't. Oh, I guess that does help. You can see, oh, yeah, she's going to go for it. She's going to go for it. Oh, she almost went for it. So she might not be too hungry because I did feed her 2 days ago. I caught another spider and she escaped. And then I got this one. You see, she's got this beautiful orange dot on the back of her abdomen. Yeah, I don't know. Sorry, this is as good as I can do. And so the fly is trying to escape. There's a nice view of her. And of course, you can be trying to sketch here if you want. I'm trying to keep her in view for you. And here comes this fly. So yeah, she ate the fattest fly the other day that I showed you in the video. So she might not be hungry. She might be saving this one for dinner. And now she's crawling on the top here. Joey says she knows where that fly is every second. Yeah, so she will turn her whole head, of course, to get those big eyes to make the image. Oh, that's good. I can show you there. That's a little extra magnifying lens. Yeah, these lights, I don't know how people do this online, get such clear videos because the light is, anyway, she is looking at that spider. See her turning. She's interested, but maybe she's not happy with the earthquake that's happening with me holding this. Trying to get this closer. This is just so challenging to get this. Because she keeps moving. They both keep moving. Wait, here she is. You know, so with nature sketching, you just have to draw what you can see and not be frustrated by what you can't see. Sorry, I'd be drawing with you, but I just can't move the box and keep track of her and draw at the same time. Oh, there she's walking under that magnifying lens. This is a really cool OT light. Oops, I don't want to open it. I almost let her go. So now that you know the anatomy, you can see the cephalothorax, you can see the abdomen, you can see the 8 pairs of eyes. 4 pairs of eyes. Yeah, she's probably going like, what the heck are you doing? How can I be hungry? And oh, look at that. Oh, come on. She's stalking it. Oh, she got it. Oh, it got loose. Did you see that? She almost caught it and it got loose. And she's looking and she's mad. She's pissed off. Now she's looking up. She's looking up. She's like, I'm not going to get that guy. Oh, come on. This is high stress. It coming to her. Why is the fly so stupid? It keeps walking right next to her. And she was hitting it with her little pedipalp. But yeah, maybe she's distracted. She's definitely stalking it. She's coming up the wall. I could have cheated and put him in the refrigerator to make him go slower, but look, she got it. You know, that spider deserves to die because he walked right into her jaws. We got it. Look at that. She's holding it. Now it's fighting. Notice how much it's fighting. Oh, wait, sorry. I make bigger. What am I doing? There we go. Sorry. Okay, so see how it's going to be fighting for a while. Look at how those wings are moving so quickly. But you're going to see in a few moments, the venom is going to go into the fly and it's going to stop. Deb says, taunting or trying to make friends with the enemy. Yeah, you mean the fly? I don't know. The flies aren't that intelligent. And, you know, these spiders really like to be on plants that have flowers that are attracting pollinators. And so they will wait there along with the crab spiders, which are another kind of really cute spider you might see in the garden. And both jumping spiders and crab spiders are going for all the insects that are attracted to the flowers or attracted to the insects that are attracted to the flowers. Oh, this is epic. This is way better than I ever thought would be possible. I hope you guys are enjoying this because I spent the entire week working on this project for you guys. Look at those wings, how fast the fly was moving its wings. She's really holding on to it. I wish I had more of a top view. This is a side view. She's on the wall of the enclosure. And so I can see the orange, the beautiful orange dot. Suzanne says, drama. And Deb says she's very strong. Yes, they are incredibly strong. And I was reading or watching a video last night about spider web and how they can actually use this pulley system to pull prey up from below them that is bigger than they are. Joey says the view is just fine. Wonderful. So try to sketch what you can. Again, don't be frustrated if you can't, draw all 8 legs. Just get this amazing, confusing emotion here and motion. I could almost do it. I'm trying. I'm holding the box. I'm holding the box with one hand and trying draw with the other. It's yeah, it's kind of yeah, JR says it's an amazing how long it takes for the fly to be paralyzed. I think ooh, it's trying to get away. She's holding on to the fly by its rear end. I think she's barely got it. Now it's slowing down. Oh yeah, this is high drama. Deb says I don't want to miss anything by sketching. Trying to keep this in focus. Maybe I don't want to. Just a minute. Sorry, this is again, you would not believe how much material I have here. Trying to and when you move something on the screen, it's the opposite of real life. So if I want to move it to the left, I have to move the box to the right. Yeah, Deb says try a blind contour. Oh, there, that's a great one. That's great. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it is amazing to see how long it struggles. And I often tell my students just to use your words, if you can't capture what's actually happening so much, there's a lot of words you can use, like folks are using in the chat box to describe what's happening. So you don't have to feel like you have to draw everything. Yeah, that fly is really fighting for its life. Oh, that's a nice side view. I'm really glad I have this extra little mirror on the OttLite, which is really helping. Looks like he's slowing down a bit. And now he's almost stopped. JR says, is it okay to use the previously shown close-up of the male with the T fangs as a reference photo? That's a great question because, my training is as a scientific illustrator. And so usually I use lots of different references. I'll go out in the field like I did to get these things. I'll look online. I might go to a museum and find museum mounts. I'll use every kind of resource I can. But you just kind of have to you might want to note that. Let me see. You might want to note in your sketch that you're doing that because it could be a different species. Yeah, Joey said, looks like the fly finally succumbed. Yes. So this is a great time to be able to draw something when an insect is busy. So I think actually this is perfect. Well, now I put my paper under there for contrast. But I hope this is clear enough. Oh, look at that. See this new there. Deb says, oh, I think she's slurping. Now, so you can see her 4 pairs of legs pretty good. She's got her chelicerae or fangs, of course, inside the fly, biting it. She's got her pedipalps, or those little hand-like things on it, probably holding it as well. So you can't see that so well. But I don't know what happens when I go like that. Yeah, it's really challenging to get good light, especially through plastic. And I'm looking at her on the side of the wall. So you can see the fly's two wings, you can see some of its legs. So in sketching, you just have to kind of draw what you see and not be stressed that you're like, oh, I can't see its four pairs of cute eyes or anything. You could always take a screenshot of this too, or if you have your phone, take a picture for reference. But yeah, like JR said, yeah, I like to use lots of references. Yeah, Deb, it's great to take screenshots. I highly recommend that. And of course, if you're in my program, the Nature Notebook Club, I'll be sharing a bonus resource of high resolution images. So yeah, the more you know about animal behavior, the easier it is to pick a time to draw something. So if you watch out in your garden long enough and you find a spider catch a prey, you know it's going to be pretty still for a while it manipulates and eats that prey. And so that's a great time to do a drawing. Same thing with hummingbirds. A lot of people say, oh, hummingbirds fly so quickly. How am I supposed to ever draw one? But if you watch them out in nature, they will often come back and forth to your feeder or to some flowers in your garden, and they will go back to the exact same perch. It might be only 20 feet away in the nearest, horizontal branch, but they often have a favorite perch. And so the more you observe animals, the more you can tell when a good time would be to try to sketch them. So I'm going to try to find my sketchbook because right now it's under the fly. Here we go. I'm still moving into this new art studio. Okay, so I'm going to be drawing. I'm going to draw her abdomen. You see her nice pointed spinnerets. And we're looking at her top side. So you see a really subtle orange dot. But anyway, the more you observe something before you sketch it, the more you can sketch it realistically, even if the lighting is pretty poor, like it is right now. Now, I'll show you my little drawing when I'm done. And I always love to have people participate as well. So if you get a chance, remind me to ask you to come online here. Yeah, I think a lot of what I'm seeing. Yeah, so then and in this view, you don't see the fly's wings so much, but for fun, you could always add those. Again, this isn't a biological illustration. Um, so, you can just have fun with it. So, yeah. So, yeah, spiders don't have antennae or wings. So, it's pretty obvious what part is the spider and what part is the wings. I'm just going to make some. And, oh, I made her very fat. So it's interesting to see when you keep something a few days, how often something will eat. Now, a lot of animals will eat opportunistically a lot more than they might in nature. So even though she ate this huge fly, wait, is this the same one? Now I'm confused. I've caught a few of these guys for you and then let them go or had them. And notice the flies' legs are a lot more delicate, and they're not as beefy and furry as her legs. So even though it seems like a kind of a mess, and it's hard to tell who belongs to what leg, um, I made her very fat. Her legs, yeah, her legs are going to be bigger. So anyway, it's already 11. We've already been on an hour. Um, I know I try to keep these to just an hour, but this is kind of special. Oh, there's a good shot. That's a really good shot. Side view, you can really see I don't know if can you see my pointer? I don't know if you can see my pointer, but you can now see the fly's head and you can see the fly's little mouth parts and antennae. And Joey said, "Am I imagining I can see her belly getting bigger?" I think I saw that too the other day because, yeah, she's just like, when you go to In-N-Out Burger and you eat a huge hamburger and a really big milkshake, your belly gets bigger too instantly, right? So I might draw a little inset of this fly. Now you can see the venation of the wings on the fly too. Oh, wait, she's moving. Oh, let's see. What am I doing here? I'm gonna just about to lose this box off of the side of the table. If I'm not careful. Er, I just wish I could get more of a side view of her. This is really challenging. Wait, where'd she go? I got a light. Oh, wait. There's so many lights there. How's that? Is that a little better? So Deb says you got some good screenshots, right? So now she's in a different position and you can see it's kind of a golden colored triangle on the top of her abdomen. So the thing with wildlife sketching, whether it's a spider or an elephant or a fox, is that they're going to be moving a lot. And so you just have to take advantage when you see them in a certain position, to notice that unique anatomy from that position that you can still add later on. Like now that I see that dot on the top of her abdomen better, I can add that better to my other drawing. All right. that's good. Just a minute. Just a minute. This is fun. I've never done this before. Oh, there we go. Oh, that's a good one. So yeah, in this view, you can see what are we looking at? We're looking at the top of her, and you can see her. You can see the color pattern on the top of her body, and you can see the fly. Flies in general have very simple wing structure. They don't have very many veins in their wings. It's not really clear here, but compared to something like a dragonfly, they only have about 10 veins and then a few different. I see her moving her. She was moving her pedipalps. Suzanne says, great view. Yeah, it's just there's something with the light. It's just hard to get the right light without reflection and glare on the plastic. But this is good practice. Again, in nature, it's not going to be perfect like the photographs I showed you. And yeah. And I did mention my membership. And I just put that link in the chat box. It's christinelder.com/membership. And I often try to give my members bonuses, and I'm going to be giving them a little handout of the high resolution jumping spider images I had in the slideshow. So you guys like Suzanne can look that up. I'll post that later today. So my membership is a monthly program of sketching and journaling and drawing and painting, and I give weekly video tips and monthly master classes. And this month is on migrating songbirds. Yeah, so it's a really fun program. It's the best value I offer. So I encourage you to check that out. Suzanne said, thank you for that. Yeah. So we're looking at her holding on vertically to the side of the enclosure here. And although you can't see it, the little pointy end of her rump, that's where her spinnerets are. And she's going to have one line, a safety line of web that's attaching her to the side of the box there for stability. So anyway, every time something moves, try not to be frustrated. Try to instead notice what you can see differently in that view. And then there's ways to, integrate all of those views. Now she's turning a bit. So again, males and females look different. The males are going to be much smaller. They won't have as huge of an abdomen, except after they've had their, Thanksgiving dinner. And the females are going to be more muted coloration so that they can blend in, which is safer. Males in many species, especially birds, have to be brightly colored to attract their mates, but it's more dangerous to be brightly colored and to be constantly singing to attract your mate and be doing mating dances, because that's going to attract predators as well. So the male spiders are really sacrificing a lot to be able to attract a mate. And in lots of spiders, they also have to be worried about being eaten after they mate because they're sacrificing their body to give nutrition to the spider the female spider to be able to give more nutrition to her eggs. So I see most of you are still here live. And again, I am so happy. I want to remind you that you are only 1% of my newsletter list that goes out that actually signed up for this spider workshop. So I commend you because I love to teach people about all corners of nature, from the biggest blue whales to the cutest koala bears to the weirdest things like tardigrades and naked mole rats and spiders. So I really appreciate you being here. It's just important as well for adults like us to learn about things and draw them so that we can share them with kids, because most of the time kids will pick up from their parents and teachers their attitudes. So if they are afraid of spiders and are just stomping on them, the kids are probably going to be that way too. And if they put out traps and go hunting, and the kids might do that too. So it's important to pass on your curiosity. Yeah, Joey says keep learning. So it's important to pass on your curiosity about the natural world to the youth in your life. So I also really encourage you to share this event with people in your life. You can copy and paste the link you see above, or the link that was in today's email if you're on my email list. And so, send that to a family or some kids, or an environmental educator or science teacher, to encourage them to learn about things they might otherwise be fearful of, because every animal has its place in nature, and spiders are really important in controlling pests in your garden. So the roses we have in the front yard where all the jumping spiders are, we don't have any aphids or any other things that are chewing on the roses, because the spiders take care of that. So it's really important to, keep an open mind and, not use pesticides or fertilizers, and try to keep habitat available. Okay, let's see. I haven't had much time to sketch because I've been trying to manipulate the lights and things, but this is the only thing I got so far. I don't know if anybody wants to share, because we are over 1 hour and I do think we should get going. And you can always go back and refer to the replay to see those pictures of the spiders. And of course, again, if you are a member of my Nature Notebook Club, or if you join it today, then a little later on today, I'll be posting my high resolution images that you can actually print out and download. Suzanne says you were sharing with your husband now while we ate dinner while watching this exciting event. Oh, that's pretty funny. I love that. So yeah, she's not going to be very entertaining. She's not going to do much else. And I do want to just leave her in peace. And then I'll probably let her go. So I'm going to let you get going. It's a beautiful Sunday afternoon here in Southern Oregon. I'm going to get out for a hike, and I'm going to clean up this huge mess I've made, and let the spider go. And so I'm glad you enjoyed joining. Thanks for joining live and replay viewers. And thank you, Joey and Kate, Suzanne and Deb and JR, and Karen and all the other live viewers, as well as replay viewers. So thanks for joining me. And I hope you enjoyed and appreciated this. And most of all, I hope it gave you a little bit more understanding about the world of spiders and their amazing behavior and anatomy. So share that with a friend. Okay, gonna get going. Take care. Bye.